So to start making the electrical model system, so we need the electrical template. Okay, now the same architectural file we will link. So I'll just go to insert. It's loading. So just go to insert and I choose here the link Revit. Go to the file library, make it sender to sender. Okay, so now it's loading. So once it get linked, I select this one and I'm going to pin. Okay, and the second thing is, in order to identify the panels are in which spaces and all, so it's better to use this spacing. So before you go to the spacing, select your link file, go to the edit type, make sure the room bounding is turned on. So this will enable a link geometry to calculate the room volumes and the boundaries. Now after that one, we will not select the link file, so just make it like this, turn it off. Okay, now the thing is, here you can see on this electrical template, so here we have the lighting and we have the power. So the difference between the lighting and power, so the light circuit will be visible on this lighting plan, and the power circuit like the receptacles, the HVAC circuit. The first thing we are going to do is to create the light circuit. Okay, then we will jump to the power plan and to the panel schedule. Now let's go to the ceiling plan so that I can really place the ceiling light over here. Okay, now on the ceiling, or I can use the floor plan also, but let's try with the ceiling plan. So now once you go to the ceiling plan, and let's place the ceiling lights here. Okay, and before that one, let's place the spaces to calculate the volumes and all. So let's go to analyze and choose here the space. Okay, I choose the space over here. Now here, if you place a space here, and if I go to the floor plan, the space will be off in this plan view, so I can turn it on also. So either in any of the view I can use this space plan. So once I choose a space, okay, and I'm going to place the spaces over here. Okay, so now remember we choose here the room bounding, that's why now it's enabled to place it. Okay, so I'm going to place the spacing over here, all the rooms. Place it. Now to the washrooms also I just place it, and even to the each toilets over here. Okay, now here I need to name this spacing. So to do that one, I choose the space tag so that I can place the space tag where I need it. Okay, and I can also place it outside, but it's better to place it inside over here. Now it's just place it. Now I can also decide in the space tag, or if you want with the area, it will show with the area, or if you want with the volume, then it will show with the volume. So volumes will be in meter cube and the areas will be in meter square. Okay, or if I need only the space tag, then you can use the space tag here. But if you don't want the number to be visible, then you need to edit the family of that tagging. Now from here I can delete these two things, and if you load this into back, and it will ask to overwrite the existing version. And go to the analyze, choose the space tag. Now let me place one tag over here and one over here, and for each one I'm going to place it. Okay, now I'm still in the ceiling plan. Now let's place the light fixtures, or if you want to change the space name, you can double tap and you can change it over here. Okay, but I need it to be like this way. Now for the lighting, I can go to the system and I go to the electrical side, and I can choose here the lighting fixture. So once I choose the lighting fixture, by default you will get this plain recessed light fixtures. I can choose the size, the power and everything, but now you can see that one. Now I can decide whether it should be placed on the wall, so then I need to choose here the vertical face. If you want to place on the ceiling itself, then I can choose here the place on face. And place on work plane means in any special cases I want to place it in any of this newly created faces, then I can choose this one, place on work plane. But I choose here place on face so that I can place the lights over here. Okay, or in other case what you can do here is you can load the other libraries of this light. You can go to electrical, you can click on the light fixture, and this time I choose here the load family. So once you choose the load family, you can go to the lighting folder. Okay, and you can open the MEP folder, and you can choose whether the light are on the external or for the interior purpose. So I choose the internal, and I can choose the flat, round, and linear box, resist, can, sport, and so many libraries are there, but I choose here the flat, round. Okay, now I choose here the place on face, so that I can just place it. For example, here I'm going to place like 4 lights over this row. Okay, and for the washrooms and all, I'm going to place it one by one. I place it on the exact grid center. Okay, so this side I use the round light. Now there are some things I can use this plane, sorry, the rectangular. So I choose a light fixture, then from this list I choose a rectangular. Okay, now let's do the circuit for this light. And there are photometric properties also. So if you select your light, and if you go to edit type, and if you go to the photometrics, so here you can see the initial intensity, or the lamp, or the bulb intensity. So whether you can choose whether it should be in candela or lux or lumen. So whatever unit you need it, then you can choose from here. Let's start making the light circuit plans. Zone's light fixture, I'll be connected to the one panel. So I'm going to place the panel here, but by default on the ceiling plan under the lighting circuit, the panel is off. But you can turn it on back by using VG. Just press VG on the keyboard, and under the electrical filter, you can see that when the electrical equipment or the fixtures both are turned off. So I can turn it on so that the TV can be placed over here. And so for the panels, I can go to the electrical, and I choose here the electrical equipment. And from here you can see that one by default you will get this 400 volts MLO. If you want MCB, you can also load from that library. So for the MCB, you can go to the load family. You can click this US folder, and you can click over the electrical folder, and you can also go to this MEP. So from here you can choose the electric power. Okay, and you can choose the distribution. Okay, but I don't want to place on face, I need to place on vertical face, so that it will be placed here, and I don't want to be embedded inside the wall. I just need to be like outside the panel, or you can choose if you want it inside, then you can choose inside panel here, and I place the other one here. Okay, and I'm going to name this one as the DB1. So under the property, if you scroll it down, so here you can see the option called the location is on space 2 because it's placed over here. Okay, so I'm going to change this name as a lobby. Okay, now if I'm selecting this panel, here you can see the location will be changed to the lobby 2. 2 is the number of that. Okay, now the panel name, I'm going to add this one as DB1. Okay, and for this one, I'm going to place the panel name as DB2. Now let's connect this light as a different circuit to these panels. So not as the one circuit over here. For example, this space 1. So I select all the lights in space 1. Now here you can see that one, this power and switch is over there. So we will not show the switch diagram to the as a circuit, but we will place a switch and we will just connect. So before connecting to the panel, let's place a switch here. So for the switches, you can go to the electrical and you can choose, you can click over the device and you can choose here the lighting. Okay, and once you choose the lighting switches in the properties type, you can choose whether it should be a circuit breaker, but we don't need the circuit breaker because it will be inside the panels there. Okay, this time I'm going to choose here the one-way switch or two-way switch. I select the one-way switch, and these switches can be placed on the vertical place here. Now these switches are visible in symbols because of the detail level media. If your detail level is in fine, then you can see the 3D model of that switches here. The next one is to connect it to the power. That's a main circuit. So I select this one. That's a main circuit diagram. Now you can see that when the switches disappear from here, but still you can see and the switches showing in an orange color tab. It's not accessible. It shows that one already a switch system is selected. Okay, and now to make it confirm, you can go to the view tab. You can click over the user interface and you can turn on the system browser. So once you turn on the system browser, here you can see that one. It shows the number of unassigned is 31 items. If you expand this one, you can see it's under the electrical. Again, if you expand here the electrical, it's under the power. So there is DB1 and DB2, and this much ceiling lights are there. Okay, and it will show the space name also, I mean the location, and the space number also it will show. So none of this thing is assigned. If you use the switches also, it won't be assigned there. So it will be assigned until you create a power circuit. So I just select all these four and I click over the power. Okay, now here you can see that one, all these things are under the loop. Okay, the next step is I need to show to connect to the which panel. Okay, so here the panel is showing because the voltage comment is added. If the voltage comment is not added, the panel will not appear here. So I can choose whether it should be connected to the which DB or which panel. I had already renamed this one as the DB1 and DB2. So I'm going to choose here the DB1, so it will be connected to the DB1. So this symbol means with the power arrow. So this means it's connected to that. It's just showing the location of that panel there. And the final step is we need to choose the wires from here. But if you still skip that one, you can also add it later on. So you can highlight your light and press the tab key again. So it's just showing to the switches. Now I press another tab. Okay, then one more. So next time it's just showing the circuit. Just click there. So you'll be back to that circuit editing. So this time I can choose what type of wire I need. If I choose the arc wire, so it will be just connected to the arc wire. And if I can use the undo. If you want the chamfered wire, then I select the system again. I can choose the chamfered wire over here. Here you can see that when 3 systems are created and unassigned 7 items are there. So let's check what is unassigned 7 items. If you expand here under electrical, it's DB, because DB to the DB is not connected. Okay, from the main power. If it's SMDB or to the DB, that I need to use. And the other lighting fixtures over here, see I forgot to connect this light. Okay, and to the switches over here, because I play some switch over here, shows that when it's not added to any circuit over there. Okay, now I can make switch to switch power also. If I select only the switch, I can see the power over there. Okay, from where it's coming, the power is coming. So if I click the power, and I can choose a voltage. I choose here 230 voltage. Okay, then it's connected to the DB1. Okay, I can choose what type of wire needed. I can choose that. So again, this switch also. Power, choose a voltage. Okay, it's already connected to the DB1 over here. Now, how to add this to an existing circuit? So you can select the circuit by using the tab key. here you are selecting the proper circuit. I select this one. So here I have the option called the edit circuit. So once I click on the edit circuit, and here by default one button is added called add to circuit. So now I am able to select the object to circuit, and I can click finish editing the circuit. Okay, now to add the wires, again I need to select the circuit back again, then I can choose the wire over here. Okay, now let's check the assigned items. 6 systems are created. If you expand the power, it's with the DB1. So if you expand here, see this is circuit number 1, it will show here, and this is circuit number 2, circuit number 3. Okay, and all these second loop in the circuit is for the switches. Okay, and the same thing, the other lighting circuit you can add to the second DB over here. Now let's find the total load assigned to that panels. So that means the load schedule. So I need to generate the load schedule of each panel. So to generate the load schedule of each panel, you can select these panels over here, and here you can see the option called create panel schedule. So once you click on the create panel schedule, you can use a default template, or you can choose any custom template. The load schedule is already created here. Now the load schedule, it's showing here the DB schedule. I'm going to name this one as the load schedule, okay, of DB1. Okay, and the location of DB is in lobby 2. Okay, now if you scroll it down, you can see that one the load classification is for the lighting dwelling unit, and the other is for the switches. The created load schedule and everything will be appear under here, panel schedule DB1. Okay, now let's create the panel schedule for the DB2. So let's go back to the ceiling plan and select the DB2. Okay, and click over the create panel schedule default template. So it's already created, and if you scroll it down, you can see that one the total load is 1216 volt ampere. So it's so to load the receptacles, I can go to the electrical. I choose the device, and I can find here the electrical fixture. So once I choose the electrical fixture, then I can choose the option place on vertical face, because that will be placed on the walls. And here you can see that this is twin switched socket outlet. So if you want the single also, then you can use a single one, or you can also load it. So if I go to the load family, click over the US folder. Now here you can select the electrical folder. From here MEP, I can go to the electric power, and I can, this time I will choose the terminals, because this is a socket or receptacles. Then I can choose here the place on vertical face. Okay, and if I click here, now it shows that none of the created elements are not visible in this RCP, reflected ceiling plan. It's because of the graphics, the graphics template. So I go to the electrical, then I choose the device, electrical fixture. Okay, so I'm going to place the receptacles over here. Okay, and same thing for the lobby. I can use all the receptacles are for the any electrical fixtures, or to use in any kind of the, even for the HVAC also you can use it above the ceiling, these receptacles and all HVAC equipments, FCU to connect the FCUs and so on. Okay, so For example, I'm going to place it over this much portions, and I need to connect this to the DB1. Now I'm going to select all these receptacles, okay, and let's create different circuit. Then I click over this power. Now once you click over the power, see here you can see that one. Here when you take the panel list, it's not showing anything over here because this panel is not applicable to this one. But if you are changing the voltage over here, or if I'm just giving the voltage comments, if I go to edit type, so here it's showing here the switch voltage as 120. To change this to the 230. Okay, now the same thing it will reflect for the others also, because all are same type over here. Or if you want different values, then you can before you edit, you can go to the duplicate side. So you can take the duplicate over here. I had already explained the last sessions. So I'm going to select all these three. Okay, and already the power plan, we tried to place a power plant circuit, so that's why this time the power is not visible here. So in that case, you can highlight the equipments where you try to apply the power, then you can use a tab key. That means still it's in a circuit, but it's not completed. So if I select this circuit and under the panel, then I can choose which DB I need to get connected. So I choose here the DB1. Then now I can choose the type of wires over here. So just created one circuit here. And again, if I go to the panel schedule and let's see the update over here, and you can see that one, see another load classification is added. It's a receptacles over here. Okay, and again the total load connected value will be increasing there. Okay, now let's go back to the plan view and let's connect the other equipment. Okay, now if I go to this DB1 schedule, as you can see that one, the load schedule, the load classification will not get repeated, but here the load connected will be increasing over here.